I'm Michelle and this is Michmash. I'm finally doing my April wrap-up, so let's get into the books I read in April. I read 6 books, which I'm pretty proud of myself for. Out of those 6 books, I read 1 5-star book, 1 2-star book, and 4 4-star books. And again, of those 6, I read 1 British author, 1 Australian author, and 4 American authors. I said I was going to try and read less American authors this year, but it's just not happening, and I really need to do something about it. Just get some different books. Okay, so to start out with, I read The Invasion of the Tearling by Erika Johanssen. This is the second book in the Queen of the Tearling series. I own the first one, but I just got the second one out of the library. And I actually really liked this one. I, for some reason, wasn't expecting to like it that much. I think because it had been a little while since I read the first book, and I don't know, but I actually liked this one a lot more than the first one even. So I give this a 5 stars. This book is the second book in the series, so I don't want to give too much away, but the whole series is about this young girl, I think she's 18, and she becomes Queen of the Tearling, which is her country. So she rises up to this role and she kind of does things her own way. The second book in the series, The Invasion of the Tearling, though, introduces this whole other character, whole other storyline of this world that came out of left field for me. I had no idea that was coming, so I don't want to give it away, but it was so cool. So if you haven't read the series yet, I really recommend picking it up, and definitely read the second book if you only read the first one. So that book and this next book I read as a part of the TBR Takedown Readathon. I did a vlog during that reading time, so you can check it out right here, and I'll link it below as well. And I had a really good time. It was my first readathon ever, and I read almost 2 books, so it was pretty good. The second book I read was Beloved by Toni Morrison. Unfortunately, I didn't really like this book very much. I only gave it 2 out of 5 stars. This is an American classic, and I think that it is probably the kind of book that you should be studying in school, or I should probably do some more research about it to really fully understand it, but I just felt like it didn't make sense to me. It was hard to follow the characters, hard to follow what was going on, and it just didn't seem to address any of the racial issues in a positive way. So, I don't know, I just didn't like it. Obviously, Toni Morrison is an American author, and Erika Johanssen was an American author as well. The third book I read was Life or Death by Robotham. I mentioned this in a couple of my Friday Reads videos, and I finally finished it. This is a really good book. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. This is a crime thriller mystery kind of novel. I don't want to go too much into detail about it because I did do a book review, my first ever book talk video, so I'll link that right here. Go check that out because I think this is a really good book. If you're interested in crime, thrillery books, you'll really like this one. It's about a guy who escapes from prison the day before he's supposed to be released after 10 years, and everyone's on the hunt for him. It follows several different perspectives, including his, where you are trying to figure out where he is, where he's going, why, and what actually happened. So it's really good. I really recommend it. And Robotham is an Australian author, and he's written several more books, so I think I'm going to check out more of his. Next, I read The Strangler Vine by M.J. Carter. M.J. Carter is a British author, but this book is set in India in the 1800s, during the British East India Company reign. And this is a historical fiction adventure book, I guess. I really liked this book. It took me a little bit to get into it, but it was really good, and I love the cover, obviously. It was really good. It kind of follows the story of this young lieutenant who gets tasked to join this older, I think he's a major. They're both belonging to the company. They have different opinions of whether the British are doing good things in India. So they get tasked with finding this other British author who had been around a few months ago and then disappeared, and nobody knows where he has gone. So they go off and they have to, camp along the way. They're with a few servants, but they are stopping in different towns along the way. They meet different people. Nobody wants to talk about this guy that they're looking for. And so it's kind of a mystery and it's a bit of adventure. Kind of learned a little bit about the British East India Company. Not as much as I kind of thought I would, but I really like this one. There is a sequel to this book, so I'll definitely be checking that out as well. I give this a 4 out of 5 stars. So then I did my second readathon of the month, which I can't believe that was all in April, but I did the Dewey's 24-hour readathon. So I finished the last like 100 pages of Strangler, and then I started and nearly finished Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. This book was really good. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars as well. Again, Leigh Bardugo is an American author, but I've been hearing about this book a lot on YouTube. This is a YA fantasy book, and I didn't realize that there was a romance in this book, which was kind of heavy for my liking. I'm not really a romance reader. That was more my 14-year-old time, but I actually still really like this, and I have the other 2 in the series, so I'll probably be picking those up fairly soon. This follows a young woman who, when she was a kid, well, she was an orphan, and she was in this orphanage with her best friend, and they both get taken to be trained in the army to fight this shadow fold. And then when she's about 18 is when the story picks up. She discovers that she has some more powers that she didn't really realize before, and that is, you know, some people want to use that for good, some people want to use it for bad, and she's stuck in the middle trying to figure out what to do. So that's kind of, I don't know, the gist of the story, and I quite liked it. It was really fast reading. I read it all in that one day, partially because I was doing a readathon. And then the last book I read in April was Labor Day by Joyce Maynard. I'm still planning to do a book review of this one as well. I still need to watch the movie, which is on Netflix. I really liked this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Anyway, this book is about a woman and her 12-year-old son, and the story is narrated by the 12-year-old son. It's narrated by the 12-year-old son, but it's also kind of narrated when he's an adult looking back, so it's not really from the voice of a child, but it is from a child's perspective, if that makes sense. Anyway, the mom and son are grocery shopping one day, and they meet this guy who kind of asks them for help, and they agree and take him home for the weekend. Turns out this man has escaped from prison and is hiding from the police. Interesting that I read 2 books about men escaping from prison this month. I don't know how that happened. So I'm still gathering my thoughts on this one, and I will post a video about it when I watch the movie as well. The funny thing is the movie has horrible reviews, so I'm kind of nervous about watching that, but I need to watch it this weekend. This is an American author as well. So those are the 6 books I read in April. If you've read any of them, let me know what you thought of them, or if you're planning to read any of them, let me know. And I will be back with another video soon. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.